be the change you wanna see.
Seaside is a caring, connected, and expanding spiritual community, sharing practical tools for richer living.
Just your heart to show you how you can be the change if you wanna.
We join in partnership with God to influence our lives for good, whether for improved health, finances, relationships, or simple happiness and joy.
Plant a flower, watch it grow. You will reap what you sow. You gotta be the change.
This is the class for you. And as we say at Seaside, life just works better when you are in class. So I referred you to Inside Seaside maybe 4 or 5 times already. So I want to give a round of applause to Marv, who has put up the Inside Seaside every week without fail. Thank you, Marv. So go ahead, check your Inside Seaside. It's in your program. All right, so purchase your tote bag. You remember like 2 weeks ago I was up here modeling my tote bag? Well, I sold it. They're going quick. So make sure that you get yours, because I can't model it today. I've already sold it. It's gone. Marianne Williamson. We have Marianne coming on June 5th. We have Richard in the family room. He's selling tickets, and I will be with him after second service selling tickets as well. We sold 90 VIP tickets this morning. They're going quick. Make sure that you get yours today. You can also get it online, but here's like the inside scoop. If you get it here at Seaside, you don't pay the fee for Eventbrite. I'm just letting you know because I love you, so go ahead and purchase your tickets today. And today we're celebrating Earth Day, so Callie and the Seaside Sisters have put together an event for tonight at 5 o'clock. And if you have a wife who has been coming to the events for Callie and the Seaside Sisters, and you always see her coming back glowing and wonderful and beautiful, you get to see why. You get to see the beauty and the magic that happens with the Seaside Sisters and all the events that Callie puts together. So come back today at 5 o'clock. The event is from 5 to 7. There will be chanting and drumming, and always there is a soul awakening. And men are welcome. This is the first time, guys. So make sure that you get in there. And before I forget, we do have a clip for you from Marianne Williamson. And Marv, if you can just run that for us, please.
And to blame them. So that's what you're talking
not
about.
immediately.
And not immediately.
But
That's what I'm
also-
saying. It's hard to do immediately.
But since the universe is self-organizing and self-correcting, if anybody did anything to me that harmed me, if anybody did anything to me that was a transgression or betrayal, the universe is already on it. The universe has a way to make sure that I get whatever in the material world that person took away from me. I call that the principle of divine compensation. But if my heart is closed, then I won't be able to receive the miraculous new possibility that
That's
the universe
interesting.
is bringing.
The principle of divine compensation, not the same thing as reciprocity, as what
No,
goes out.
it's different.
It's different?
It's the divine compensation means if I have an experience of you,
Yes.
and I do something where I deflect a miracle, something wonderful that might have happened, and I deflect that miracle. Or if you were to do something that deflected a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
The miracle, the possibility, what might have been blocked by me. The possibility might have been blocked by you. But the Course in Miracles says it is held in trust for you by the Holy Spirit until you are ready to receive it.
All right. Okay, so with all that being said, we're going to stand up, greet our neighbors, say Happy Earth Day. We will be here at 5 o'clock, and stay standing for the congregational song.
Good morning, Seaside. Please remain standing for the congregational song. We've done this one only a couple times, and you see double trouble to this morning because It's going to work out that way. It's gonna, awesome. Here we go. I am a light. Here we go. It's a lot of call and response, everybody, okay? So I'm going to sing the line. Danielle's going to sing the response. And you guys sing along with us, okay? I am a light.
I am a light.
I am a light.
I am a light.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
I am a light.
I am a light.
I am a light.
I am a light.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
This place.
This place.
This time.
This time.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let
Come
it
on.
shine.
I see the joy.
I see the joy.
I see the joy.
I see the joy.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
I see the joy.
I see the joy.
I see the joy.
I see the joy.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
This place.
This place.
This time.
This time.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it
All right.
shine.
I'm living love every day.
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 Spreading peace along the way.
Spreading peace along the way.
Right time,
Right time.
right place.
Right place.
Living love
Living love
every day.
every day.
Come on, Bob. Yeah. Give it up for Bob and our Seaside Band. I am a light.
I am a light.
I am a light.
I am a light.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
I am a light.
I am a light.
I am a
I
light.
am a light.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
In this world.
This place.
This place.
This time.
This time.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it
This
shine.
place. This place.
This place.
This time.
This time.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine. One more
Let it
time.
shine.
Say this place.
This place.
This time.
This time.
Let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine. Yeah, Seaside.
All right. Thank you, Danielle and Rebecca. Rebecca,
We got
hey.
both of us
Yeah, Oh,
today.
we do. What happened? Wait, hey, you were missing at the first service. What's up?
Yeah,
Where
I
were
just
you?
Literally flew in from Minneapolis this morning.
Really?
6 a.m. flight.
What were you doing there?
Played actually with Sheila E. at Paisley Park. Yesterday was Prince's 2-year anniversary of his passing.
And so you went to his place.
We went and played at his place and celebrated his life. It was incredible. Incredible.
Wow.
So,
Well,
yeah.
that was great. Just love what you do. And just thank you for making an effort to be back with us this morning. We just love it.
If I can be here, I would love to be here
That's
with my
good.
Seaside family.
And Danielle rocked it for
Danielle's
service. Man.
amazing.
She is.
Love her so much. Thank you for
Yeah.
being here. So she covered for the first service, and she's sticking around so the second service. So we're going to be both here with you this morning.
And got her mom and her 2 kids
Yeah,
with
the
her
kids
today.
and stuff, so I'm
I better
excited.
behave myself. Huh? Hey, good morning, Seaside. Woo! What a joy it is to be with you on this Earth Day. It is a magical day. It is a profound day that reminds us to pay attention and to be in balance with the earth and the earth energies and how we are in this together. And so I love Earth Day. I love preparing for it. And I'm excited about this morning's message because I so often go with the heavy stuff. And this morning, it's more on the positive side. I get so caught up in preparing for it that, Ray, I forgot the men's breakfast group yesterday morning. I was so engaged with this. And you had 30 guys there, I understand. That's fabulous. That's it. So, I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm just filled with joy that you didn't miss being here this morning, because it is a significant message, and one that has importance in our life and in this world with the dealing of our consciousness. We'll be honoring Sandy in a moment. Just a lot of good things. So, Candace, almost made you a reverend. Take us a little bit deeper to that wonderful place so we are receptive to the good that's about to make itself known.
Take a deep breath and join me in the stillness. As I feel and sense the reverberations of the bowl in every cell of my body, it reminds me that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, that the earth is created by God and of God, even as each and every one of us is God expressing. And as I know that, I celebrate. I celebrate the goodness, the joy, the beauty that each one of us is, and that the earth is. And I know that this morning is a celebration of the earth, and that Reverend Dr. Christian shares so much enthusiasm and information and optimism about this magnificent planet, about this earth, about who we are in relation to the earth, and how we are one with it. And taking a deep breath, I invite you to be present for all that unfolds this morning. And so it is.
We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be.
Good morning, Seaside. Always take a moment and just breathe through that, because that's that divine little special place where we are in connection with Spirit, and it's just so beautiful. Thank you, Rebecca, for that. So my name is Kim J.R. Whittington. I'm a practitioner here at Seaside and also a ministerial student getting ready to graduate in a couple months. Woohoo! I know. Every time I get up here and say that, I get even more excited, because it's such a long, wonderful journey, and I'm ready. So welcome to anybody who might be new here for the very first time. If this is the very first time you've ever stepped into Seaside, we are so grateful that you have decided to bless us with your presence. Here at Seaside, we are a community that we are coming together to just lift up and to celebrate the magnificence of our divine lives, of our connection with God. And we get to support each other as we find that perfect path to our greatest sense of self. And so if that resonates with you, we are so grateful that you're here. We do have a welcome packet in the social hall, so after service, please feel free to stop by the table. And in that packet, you get a CD of another one of Dr. Christian Sorensen's talks. You also get a card in there that you can fill out and provide us a little bit of information about yourself. And then we get to send you lots of wonderful info of what's just happened in here, and you can pick and choose what you'd like to attend, including the amazing Marianne Williamson, who's going to be joining us. Those are the kind of messages that you'll get saying, come and join in on that. So welcome again, and thank you for being here. With that, I would like to call Kelly Sorensen up to come, and she is going to do a special dedication for a wonderful Seaside member for us.
Good morning. Do you know that a new and growing sisterhood of women are awakening to their power to transform the world? Yes. Did you know that? Yeah, I thought you knew that. So once a year around Earth Day, I have the extreme honor of presenting the Seaside Sisters Awakened Woman Award. And we've already given Miss Eve Simmons her award at my last event. Eve, stand up for a second. And so we have another special award, and we're so glad you're here to witness this. Seaside Sisters annually recognizes women in the local community who are actively engaged and committed to sacred activism. For an awakened woman, sacred activism is not a conscious choice, but more a moral imperative. She leaves the safer territory of comforting spirituality and charitable service to venture to the very edges of personal and social transformation. For an awakened woman, it's the heart that guides her to the higher visions, that informs and re-energizes her compassion in action, knowing the heart must be the originating source for all sacred activism. A dedicated activist develops a deep understanding of the challenges that puts her energy into creating real change for a lifetime. An awakened woman feels a fundamental desire to see wrongs righted, to awaken people from the slumber of moral passivity. An awakened woman possesses an intuitive instinct for social justice and fairness, and is willing to pay the price for their ideals. And this is true heroism in long-term commitment. And Sandy is my mentor for activism. Sandy Atkinson has dedicated her life to feminism and to social justice with courage and commitment. I've known 25 years Sandy as an original member here at Seaside, and nobody possesses more of a heartfelt passion for sacred activism than Sandy. And I would like to invite the women, the Seaside Sisters, to stand with me right now. And I would like to invite you, the women, to join me in honoring Sandy Atkinson. So while you're standing, please join me in these words. We recognize you for the divine feminine expressing as you. We see you as an awakened woman who has the feminine power to transform rather than reform. We honor you for following your heart's inner guidance to put compassion in action. We celebrate you for your awakened awareness and your transformational power to be the change you know is possible.
Wow, I just love being here at Seaside, and you can see all the dynamic, wonderful things that are happening in our community, and just what a light and a love and a present. So thank you so much to Callie and to the Seaside Sisters for presenting that. It was just absolutely beautiful, and thank you, Sandy, for all of your hard work. So the last thing I'd like to just mention is that this Wednesday night, I will be speaking at the Wednesday Night Power Up, and we are going to be taking a little hiatus. So this is going to be the last Wednesday Night Power Up. And as the consciousness behind founding this Power Up service, I would love for you to come out and support it. Kat has done an incredible job with all of the foundation of it, and my talk title will be Wisdom of Balance. So really creating that balance in your life. So I look forward to seeing you all there to celebrate with us. It's 7 p.m. on Wednesday night. And with that, let's just go ahead and take a moment and go into prayer. Just drawing in the energy, this energy in this space that we know is spirit, it's universe, it's energy, it's God, it's law, it's all of the above. I can feel that presence in this moment, just pulling forth the love of this community. I claim in this moment that this spiritual essence is of radiance, it is of beauty. It shines forward in this moment in all the laughter, in all of the tears, and all of the joy. For there is something powerful and palpable that is taking place when we are divinely connected to that source, that oneness, that energy. I know that I am part of it, and I know that each and every person in this room is also connected, for we are all one. There is only God. And so in this moment, I just allow myself to sit in the beauty of the presence. I know that this service unfolds in its magnificence, with Dr. Christian giving the amazing message filled with wisdom and clarity around our Mother Earth. I know that what each of us have come here to receive is pouring forth into our hearts, our minds, and our souls. I claim that the music is phenomenal, as always, with the voice, with the sounds, knowing that Spirit is pouring forth in that as its own spiritual message, touching us. I claim in this moment that this service is filled with so much good. For there is just a vibrant movement taking place that we call Seaside. And it is moving and having its very being in each and every one of us as we come here to claim it. And so I just allow myself to be filled with this gratitude, this thanksgiving, for knowing the power and the presence of God is at the core of who and what we have come here to know. And so that knowingness is very present. And with that, I just release these words. I just allow them to be active and to claim exactly what is meant to come forth, and so it is.
Good morning, Seaside. Well, it is my honor on Sundays to introduce our guest artists. And today we have a brand new artist. She's a friend of mine, singer around town. She's a phenomenal performer, and she's an original artist. She does a lot of original music, and we've known each other kind of through the circuit of San Diego. And you know, when they thought of an opportunity for her to come here, and I'm so excited that she's here today for her first time. But she's moving pretty soon, so I hope it's not her last time. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. If it's meant to happen, you're going to be back here with us. So we hope you're moved by her music this morning. And she does have CDs with her, if you're moved by her music. So without further ado, please help me welcome for her very first time, Tori Rose.
Hi, everybody.
Listen as your day unfolds. Challenge what the future holds. Try to keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears. Go ahead, release your fears. Stand up and be counted. Don't be ashamed to cry. You gotta be bad. You gotta be bold. You gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard. You gotta be tough. You gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool. You gotta be calm. You gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day. Heard what your mother said. Read the books your father read. Try to solve those puzzles in your own sweet time. Some may have more cash than you. Others seek a different view. My, oh my. Yeah. You gotta be bad. You gotta be bold. You gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know, love has saved the day. Don't ask no questions, it goes on without you. Leaving you behind if you can't stand the pace. The world keeps on spinning, can't stop it if you try to. The best part is danger staring you in the face. Ooh. Remember, listen as your day unfolds. Challenge what the future holds. Try to keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears. Go ahead, release your fears. My, oh my. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day. Yeah. Got to be bad, got to be bold, got to be strong. Listen what your mother said. Got to be strong, but not too strong. All I know is love will save the day.
Thank you. Woo! That is Tori Rose debuting at Seaside for the first time. And now you're leaving us? Wait. That's not okay. No. But then no one listens to me. No, I take that back. Everyone does. Oh, wow. What a great song. You got to be bad. You got to be bold. You got to be stronger. Man, Sandy, that is a song for you. Congratulations. Sandy Atkinson, just so proud of you. You have stretched me and Seaside through 2.5 decades. You helped bring me to Seaside. And it's just what a gift you have. You were way ahead of the curve. You were out there marching with the women before that was even popular. And just, Callie, you and the sisters honoring Sandy this year is just a wonderful, wonderful thing. So, got to be bad, got to be bold, got to be stronger. That's you all the way. And love will lead the way. You know, that's no question about Sandy. That is no question about Seaside. And so as we become bold and bad and stronger, let us remember it's love that's going to lead us the way. You know, it's like the paradox. You got to be bold, and yet you got to be an expression of love. And one doesn't stop the other. They go hand in hand. That's the paradox and the joy of life. So this morning's message is in support of Earth Day, and as you heard me share, I love planning for this. I get lost in it. I have got so much swirling through my head. I don't really know how it's going to come out and what order it's going to come out. I'm very excited to see it. But what I did happen for me is I found a wonderful book Callie shared with me this year from Paul Hawkins, Draw Down a Comprehensive Guide to Eliminating Global Warming. And it was filled with all sorts of positive things that are going going on right now upon this planet that are making a difference. And so as my message is, we have this urgent call from this mother, an urgent cry. And if anybody's really paying attention, there are these distress signals that are coming from Mother Nature, from the mother, from Gaia. And, there are those that are denying it, saying, no, it's not going on. There's not a problem. The weather's not changing. But you know what? If we want to listen, there are these distress signals that say, there is this ramping up of the weather that is going on. The glaciers are melting upon this planet. The tides are rising. There is food scarcity and insecurity that is going on. There's migrations of huge immigrant populations. There are things that are going on this planet as a result of the CO2s in the environment. But I got to also share with you that even though the carbon dioxide has like a 2-century jump on our solution, it doesn't mean that it's hopeless. It doesn't mean that we are not going to watch this turn around. And I believe that, our ancestors didn't understand the ramifications of what it was they were doing, and that we are in a situation that comes from just an ignorance of what was going on. And it's easy to say, well, now look at what I got left. What has happened to me? Isn't this terrible? We are now all a victim, and our kids are going to have to pay for it since I'm not taking care of it, or whatever the story is. But if anybody sat in my office and said that they were a victim and that life was happening to them, I would tell them, get off of it. That is not our philosophy. We do not believe in the victim consciousness and that life is happening to me. And Ernest Holmes, he's the founder of religious science, he talked about the macrocosm and the microcosm. Hermes, thousands of years ago, talked about as above, so below, as within, so without. You get the picture here, is that if all of a sudden it's working, our philosophy and our principles work at the individual level, then there's something true about the macro level. And so this earth, I've got to recognize that if it's not happening to me, it's happening for me. And if it's happening for me, then what I've got to recognize is this atmospheric transformation that is going on. It is really not an inevitability, but rather an invitation to take a new track, to bring forth change, to begin to recognize that we're being called to tap into our creativity, to a greater expression, our innovation, our genius, and a way to be on this world in which we haven't been before, but is now necessary to live with if we want to walk in partnership and collaboration and cooperation upon this planet. So, yes. I'm not giving my power away to those naysayers, and I know it's important sometimes, and I've done it for years, laid out these thick statistics that make it sound hopeless, and it is nasty. People leave here going, oh man, that didn't feel good, but thank you. But that's important for those individuals who say, well, it's not really going on, for us to realize the hundreds of extinct animals every month. I won't even go there today, I'm saying. So, but what we do have is a common ground in which we all meet. And it's called the environment. It's the one thing all of us on this planet share together is this planet, is this environment, and we are in this together. And something interesting happened, about 11,000 years ago. I wasn't there, I don't think, but I've read about it. It's about the time where the Ice Age stopped proceeding and maybe began to reseed. It was the time in which the human species went from gatherers and hunters to the agricultural and settling. And with that came, with the agriculture, there came their first harvests. And with the first harvest, at least at first, they have a surplus. And what are you going to do with the surplus is you got to store it. And that became the beginning of the storage business. And it has expanded, from, storing it in the earthen, clay, to wood, to ceramic silos. And we make it, we create it, we store it, kind of thing. And the storage business is very successful today. We do good with storing anything and everything, except, for the most part, the one thing we have not yet figured out how to store is energy in large levels. I mean, we got batteries that do a little bit, but you ever have a battery? How long do those things last? Never long enough, that's for sure. But, we've got little bits of storage on a grid, but we don't have way. We have these massive power plants that create the amount of energy. In peak hours, they ramp up their production of energy. In low hours, they put it down. There's really no way to store that. And as we begin to progress, I think what is essential is that we begin to figure out how we can do the storage of energy. And we're not talking about Tesla's approach of zero-point energy where it's always there and you can't charge for it. That doesn't work with our economy. You got to figure out how to charge something, I think. But that's a different subject. So the 19th century was known for the era and the century of carbon. The 20th century was the fossil fuel industry. And I believe the 21st century is going to be known as the era of solar and wind. We're heading in that direction. Cheap fuel is losing its grip and the subsidies to support it. And all of a sudden, after the 70s, when we had the oil embargoes, the windmills started coming back, and all sorts of things started to help show up. But they have not really taken off. We have continued to consume, and the creation has created these weather patterns where lakes like Lake Chad, Lake Chad, this huge lake, you're a pilot, you fly over, it's one of your landmarks. The astronauts can even see Lake Chad in the African continent. In the 60s, it was 26,000 square kilometers. I mean, it had 135 species of fish. It produced 200,000 tons of fish for the people in that area and the surrounding countries of Niger and Nigeria and Chad and Cameroon, and the basin was fertile and rich, and so the cattle raising of other countries, they've supplied life for 40 million people. There was never a problem. There was plenty there, and that included the Sudan, Algeria, Libya. Or Liberia. It was a healthy thing. But because of the change, the water stopped coming, the wells started being drilled deeper, all of a sudden the underwater table started to be taken away, and now it has shrunk since that time by 96%. There's only 1,500 square kilometers left of this lake, and you can barely find it on the map. If you look at it, it'll show you by the decade how it's disappeared. These are the kind of things that are going on that create an insecurity, that all of a sudden will create distress within nations, because if you don't have water to take care of the food and the people, you begin to have dynamics on this planet. And so as we begin to shift our awareness and recognize there's things we can do, we don't have to take away. But in the meantime, what is happening is we're looking at taking away. It's not just happening in Africa. Do you know, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, San Diego, our area, cut a deal with Imperial Valley to get their farming water. 200,000 acre feet. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like a lot, since it's the largest deal that was ever cut between the farming community and a city. And all of a sudden, the farmers sold their water, which means Imperial Valley, the great fertile area for food, doesn't get the water to grow the plants. Now, LA liked the idea, so they went for 137 million tons of water annually from the Owens Valley River, which eliminates the water to the farmers in the San Joaquin Valley, which all of a sudden, the farmers are finding they get more money for selling their water than growing their food, but it doesn't help us. And all of a sudden, we're now fighting these water wars for a scarcity of water, in which they have an even scarcer part of. And these questions begin to arise, and it's happening because we have forgotten that we need to live in balance with this earth and this planet. Thich Nhat Hanh, he wrote this book called Love Letters to the Earth. And he said, also in regards to water, I left this hanging without the good part here. Barbara Boxer, our senator from California, just last month came out and said, and congratulations to San Diego. They have the first desalination plant in the country that is producing, since it came online in December of 2015, 2.5 billion gallons of purified drinking water for 400,000 people in the city of San Diego that is not dependent upon rain, weather, or anything else. That's what we're doing. And just a couple months ago, Huntington Beach passed all the legislation where they are now beginning to build their 150,000 gallon a day desalination plant that's going to take the water into Orange County. These are the kind of things that are happening when we say, oh boy, I'm a victim, isn't this terrible? All of a sudden we hit our genius, our creativity, and say, hey, there's this urgent message coming from the mother, and there's something that we can do here. And as we begin to open up to those ideas, because we have chosen love, and we need to be bold, and we need to be braver, and we need to speak out, and we need to open our eyes here. So Thich Nhat Hanh said that we see ourselves as the center of the universe and are concerned primarily with our own personal survival. And if we care about our health and well-being of the planet, we would do so really for our own sake. You know, we want the air to be clean enough so we can breathe it. We want the water to be clean enough so we can have something to drink. But we need to do more than just use recycled products to donate money to environmental groups. We have to change our whole relationship to the earth. We tend to think of the earth as this inanimate matter, object, because we have become alienated from it. We are even alienated from our own bodies. We spend many hours every day forgetting that we even have a body. We get so caught up in our work and our problems that we forget that we're more than just our minds. And many of us are sick because we forget to pay attention to our bodies. So we've also forgotten the earth, that she is part of us and we are part of her. And because we're not taking care of the earth, we are both becoming sick. We're connected. We're interconnected. Our ancestors, Native American, First Nation, they walked in alignment. They said, walk in this earth, leave only footprints, take only memories. It's that relationship. And we're at a point where we need to get to that political tipping point, which the sacred activism like Sandy has been so engaged with makes a difference. To get that tipping point before time runs out. And we heard this wonderful story that Dr. Christina shared with us during the season of nonviolence in China, has activated 60,000 of their soldiers to go out and plant trees all year, actually for 2 years. And that thus far, since they started this program a year ago, they have planted 32,000 square miles of trees. And their goal by 2020 is to plant over 60,000 square miles of trees. And these trees that they're planting are going to forest and reforest the land. So what is now 21% covered by forest will be 23%. This is what can happen when those in a position that can lead and make a difference catch the cry of the people that are saying, hey, enough is enough. You know, we need to change something. And a lot of times just one voice isn't going to make that impact, but that who knows what that one voice is, that's the straw that breaks the camel's back. It is all of us contributing, saying, you know what, we've got to do something here. Something different has got to happen. And we have seen this happening, whether it is with the planting of trees to create there was some kind of tipping point that says, you know, we need to sequester some of that CO2 back. You know, what is happening with the solar industry is an amazing experience upon our planet right now. That all of a sudden, you know, this, was it called photovoltaic energy that is coming from the photocells is where the light is transferred into energy. The agency has come forth as the International Solar Assessment Agency, or close, said that it will save by 2050 220 gigatons of junk going into the air, 220 to 330 gigatons, and it's like, what's a gigaton? You know, I know it's a lot, but it's like, I had to look it up. And a gigaton is 1 billion. So it's saying, you know, it's going to be saving on a regular basis 220 million gigatons when we move to the solar. And that's only at 2% that is going on right now. What is happening is all of a sudden it's becoming affordable thanks to China and their ability to get it to us in an inexpensive kind of way. All of a sudden we are beginning to create these little solar fields, if you would, and these little micro grids that say, you know what, we don't have to send all of our power to the big grid in the sky or wherever it is, we can take care of it in our neighborhoods. And the value of that is that in those parts of the world that do not have power plants and power grids, they begin to create these little microgrids where the power is there distributed and sent out to those that need it. And there's over 1 billion people that don't have access to electricity that this is immediately making a difference to. What is happening in this world is that we are beginning to have the technological answers, and our problem isn't so much the technology, it is the monopolies that say, you know what, we're not doing that in our neighborhood. It is those utilities that say, I really don't like this idea. And we begin to be stuck and beholden to those that are in a position of power that say, yeah, I think we got enough solar panels going on. But it can't be stopped because there is a collective wave that all of us are part of that says if it's not solar, let's go with wind. And wind is making a huge difference. It is inexpensive. It is clean. You know, it's annually pulling out 85 gigatons, which is a lot we just figured out, of carbon that's being put into the environment every year. And what this does, the wind, and what has happened is the technology of the turbines has become so advanced that it spins these big blades. There's a wind farm with 32 turbines or things right off the coast of Liverpool over there. And they make the blades there in the Isle of Wight by a Japanese company that has been contracted by a Danish company called Lego. And these 32 turbines with one, they're 267 feet long each blade, 2 blades, that's like 2 football fields. And with one turn, it supplies the energy for one house in one turn. With those 32 turbines, they are able to provide for the 466,000 people of Liverpool all the energy that they need. Those are the kind of things that are happening, that are available, that cannot and will not be stopped. The EPA in the United States, before Pruitt, said that our wind farms, if we put them in Kansas, North Dakota, and Texas, it would give the United States all the energy it would need from coast to coast. Those are the things that are going on that we need to become excited about because the cheap oil has really peaked out. As much as we are led to believe, no, we are still beholden upon that. You take a look at the auto industry. You know, they were controlled and they kept those electric vehicles away from us as long as we could, even though if legislation passed in California that we had to have so many by a certain date, it disappeared somehow. But somehow Prius made its way in here. And people started to like that. All of a sudden, you know, this electric and combination, and you look in our parking lot, I'll bet we have more Priuses in our parking lot right now than any other vehicle out there. But with that, the auto industry has changed because they realize that it's no longer the fossil fuel that's going to be what is energizing the cars to go down the road. You take a look at what is coming forward as more and more electric car options. Just this week, I saw Jaguar came out with a new electric vehicle, car, that has the sleek lines of a Jaguar, so you don't mind driving it and being seen in it. You know, it has got a range of 250 miles. It goes from 0 to 60. My son likes this in 4.5 seconds, which is actually really fast, and it is less expensive than a Tesla. And so what is happening is we're making that shift to solar, to wind, to electric vehicles, and those that were in a position that controlled the politics and the media or whatever, you know, those financial elite were able to do, all of a sudden, the masses are saying no more. That's you, me. You say, you know what, we're making choices. I may not be able to change my car today, but my next purchase, I will make a difference. I may not be able to put the solar panels on my house this week, but you know what? When that opportunity comes, it's going to save money and make a difference in the environment. All of a sudden, the choices that we are making are impactful and significant and available. That's an exciting time that we're in, that we are not destined to a collapse of this planet if all of us get together and say, you know what, there are options and I'm going to make the correct ones. All of a sudden, I know that I can make a difference. We've got Jess Franklin sitting in the audience today. She has just produced a wonderful 35-page book on how to get rid of plastics in our life and in our experience. That's huge since you don't have much option, you don't think, within your house. But she won't put it in paperback for you. You have to go online. So you see her and check that out. Just by accident, an enzyme was discovered on how to eliminate or dissolve plastic. You know, we are moving in the right direction because this plastic thing is really messed up. The Pacific garbage patch? You know, this is twice the size of Texas, swirling out there between Hawaii and California. And if that isn't bad enough, there's a second one in the Pacific. There's these 5 gyres around this planet. But if all of a sudden there's ways to begin to clean it up and we don't pollute it and make the mess again, we're moving in the right direction, and we are not bound by the 200-year history of our lack of understanding as to what we are doing with this environment. We are the generation that is hearing the urgent cry of the mother and saying we are the ones who are going to do something about it. We're going to make a difference with what we can do now. The carbon tax, they sure don't charge enough for it in any way. But, the gasoline, you realize with gasoline, there is so much indirect cost that we don't have to pay for it, which is what creates cheap fuel. There was the International Technology Assessment Program did a paper called what the real price of gas is in the United States. And they said that if you took into account the cost that it costs us for the tax breaks that go to the fossil fuel industry, if you add in the cost of the subsidies that go into that, if you talk about what it costs to protect those interests, meaning like the wars in other parts of the world, what it takes to clean up the environment, and the cost for the respiratory challenges from breathing the exhaust from what is out there, it would be an additional $12 a gallon tax to have us pay for actually the price of a gallon of gas. But we're paying, $3? So there's like $15 a gallon. We might think twice before the impact that we make, because somebody's got to pay for that. Right? It may not be us, but it will be our kids who have to then clean up that mess. Eventually, it comes back around. We saw it with the tobacco industry, didn't we? In the late 90s, they got docked with the cost of all the health issues. They had to pay the largest settlement ever of $251 billion into Medicare to cover basically $1,000 a person in the U.S. at that point to cover the medical expenses for what has been caused. Eventually, it comes back around. And so if we hear this cry, or this urgent cry, this distress signal from the earth, say, hey, pay attention, there's other options here. You didn't know better. Okay, you're not a victim. I'm taking this as the invitation to get creative, to move down. This is an initiative to become a genius and bring forth those things that I can do in my life. You heard what Jess is doing and offering us. Seaside, we have gone as green as we can thanks to Sandy and the Seaside Sisters. We use, here's one that nobody likes around here, but everyone does. Isn't that a paradox? But, we wash plates. We do reusable flatware and plates. Nobody likes washing the dishes. But what was shared with me is what we're saving for a ton of paper, which is probably a fair amount that you say that we use in the course of a year for plates. Well, Christian, use combustible plates. You put it in the ground, it goes back. To create that ton of paper, it takes 17 trees, 380 gallons of oil, 4,000 gallons of water, 3 yards of landfill, and 7,000 gallons of water and 4,000 pounds of energy, or 4,000 and a bunch. I forgot, but it's huge. It's staggering. I told you there's so many things going through my head right now, but it's not even close. It doesn't even make sense, but it's easier. Well, we all have to brush our teeth and floss, is what Sandy says. We just got to come together when we do an event to wash our stinking dishes. Or we're getting a new dishwasher that Sandy's buying that's industrial strength that will make it, sanitarily good. Or, it will. It's just, we've got to sometimes do things that aren't as easy. But if you stop to pay attention to the effect that it's making is significant. We've got our organic community garden out there in boxes that are available for people who want to grow the garden. Dan, thank you for stepping up and looking at our whole garden ministry out there. It's significant. You know, we have got solar panels here at Seaside. How wonderful that is. Not only is it saving us $1,000 a month at Seaside, it is also making a huge difference in the environment because we're not burning that kind of energy. Because what happens is when the energy is created, 3/4 of the energy is not used. It is dispersed. It is in its creation. The heat goes away. It travels across lines. That is a waste. You know, we have the difficulty of storing that energy. What is happening, let's say, with a hydroelectric is that it's like the waterfalls that come over the dams and things. And I'm not talking about what the damaged dams do. I'm talking about the hydroelectric opportunities of the water that is clean. But what is starting to happen is they're trying to figure out how to store energy. So as the water comes down, and you've got this extra energy, you've created all this energy, and you're only using so much. What do you do with the extra energy? This is great. People, because what's happening is invitation, be creative. What they're now doing is that extra energy, which is just dispersed because there's no way to store it, they're using it to pump the water back up behind the waterfall so they can use it again. So there is a way to store energy, even if we did not know it heretofore. It doesn't mean it's not possible. It is the creativity, the geothermal. I love that one. You know, our Earth, from 4.5 billion years ago, you got the molten mantle of that is a continual regenerative, radioactive of the isotopes from potassium and thorium and uranium that they say is 1 billion times more energy than this planet could even use. Who figures that out? I don't know. But the same one who figures out kilobits, I'm sure. But that steam is what, it's moved energy from the beginning. It moves through the pipes. You've been to, Yellowstone, Old Faithful, geysers. That is kinetic energy that Iceland, Greenland uses. They've got 80 to 90% is between wind and geothermal. New Zealand, geothermal. Wind, here's one. Spain has 10 million homes on wind. There are just so many options. And so I want to leave us with this sense that things are moving in the right direction, that life is good, and that we are blessed. I'm not even talking now about the tidal surges, that it's consistent, not dependent upon the weather. You got the energy moving under there, the currents that are available. It is dependable. There are just so many opportunities that are out there, but we need to hit that political tipping point because there are those that really are able to direct the resources. And so Andrew Harvey, I love him. Talk about bold and strong and irreverent. He's the guy. He wrote this book called Radical Passion. And I love this line. He said, as an increasingly fear-driven, frenzied patriarchy degrades and destroys the world in an orgy of greed and violence. Woo, I like that line, man. I just love that line. Okay. So as an increasingly fear-driven, frenzied patriarchy degrades and destroys the world in an orgy of greed and violence, the celebration of the mother becomes imperative. It is she who is the force of the all-embracing, passionate, divine love that lives in, for, and as divine creation. She offers a saving balance of reverence for the creative world, an honoring of all diversity, and a new respect for the feminine modes of intuition and cooperation. The celebration of God as mother also offers a fresh, urgent vision of love in action, of what is called sacred activism, which I believe to be the destiny of the birthing force of a new embodied humanity. There's something that is birthing itself, and we can contribute and participate with that love, that intuition, that genius, and that creativity that the Mother Earth is asking us to participate with. Not give our power away to the fear, though fear helps us understand the urgency, the urgent cry of Gaia, of Mother. But with the birth of the feminine, there is that divine love that is prevailing, and it is happening all around the planet, and we're going to hit that tipping point, that straw that breaks the camel's back. We're operating what science calls a morphic genetic field. And the morphic genetic field, it has us all connected. And the 100th monkey, remember that one where the monkeys were washing their sweet potatoes with sand on it? And all of a sudden, when the so-called 100th monkey did it, something shifted in that morphic genetic field, or what we call consciousness, where on the other islands, all the other monkeys started washing their sweet potatoes, but they never saw anybody wash the sand off of it. They just knew. Or science has found this liquid mineral that all of a sudden they figured out how to crystallize. And once they started crystallizing it, this liquid started crystallizing in all sorts of places around the planet. We are connected. The divine that connects us all, that intuitive, that one mind. We're sharing this world. We're connected with this earth, this living organism that has the ways in which we can walk upon this without its abuse, in harmony, in sync. And as we begin to open up to that, it's because there is a love that is within us that knows there's something greater. Come back to the macro and the micro. I know that which is within me can be so much greater than that which I am. I know for this planet that which is going on can be so much greater and better, as I know right now that which is within all of us can be a greater participant in living in balance and harmony upon this planet. But sometimes you just need to get out into the woods, go to the mountaintop and sit in nature and go, oh my goodness, just bow. This is really amazing, this planet, this Goldilocks planet, if you would. You sit there in reverence and realize what a magnificent, magnificent place we're hanging out. Your soul could have landed in all sorts of different places. I don't know what they are right now, but I know this is a really good one. And so as you sit on the mountaintop, and you're able to look out, you can see in a greater way. You can see with greater clarity. You can see the unfoldment. You can have the observer perspective. You can begin to have the witness consciousness of the mountaintop and see your actions, how they unfold and the impact that they have in life and the world. And when you come from that reverence, there's a love inside of you, and that love is what will connect us. That love is what will get us into alignment. And with that, you'll come to feel the paradox inside of you that yes, I got to be ferocious and bold, but also tender. And I need to be majestic, and yet also I got to be that place of compassion and love. It is the balance. It is the two. It is being the yin and the yang. It is walking with a greater realization than just taking care of myself. Because you know what? My impact impacts not only today, but generations to come. And those that were unaware that came before us have left us this. And it's still good. But it's ours to take the invitation to get creative, to bring forth the brilliance and the possibilities, and realize that technology is here, and that what is in the way is just the manifestation of the resistance of the global elite who are able to control the things that they do. But when the people say enough is enough, and that the offerings to us are less expensive than the way that's not even working, things will begin to shift. And Yeats, William Butler Yeats, the Shakespeare of Ireland, if you would, said, there is a new world, and you'll find it within the one you're in. There's a new world, but it's right here, and you're the one who gets to see it. And on this Earth Day, take the time to connect with that love energy. You'll see it. God bless you. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring forth Tori Rose with a Z back to the seaside stage, and maybe she'll sing about this beautiful earth of ours.
you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you learn things you never knew, you never knew. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or ask the grinning bobcat why he grins? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Come run the hidden pine trails of the forest. Come taste the sun-sweet berries of the earth. Come roll in all the riches all around you, and for once never wonder what they're worth. The river and the rainstorm are my brothers. The heron and the otter are my friends, and we are all connected to each other in a circle, in a hoop that never ends. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or let the eagle tell you where he's been? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? How high does the sycamore grow? If you cut it down, then you'll never know. And you'll never hear the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, for whether we are white or copper skinned, we need to sing with all the voices of the mountain. We need to paint with all the colors of the wind. You can own the earth and still all you'll own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of the
Happy Earth Day, everybody.
That is Troy Rose, man, hitting out of the park, finding the perfect songs for Earth Day. Kat, after the first service, said, man, that's like one of my favorite Disney songs from Pocahontas. I said, what's Pocahontas? I guess it's a popular show, or movie. Anyway, movie, yeah, animated. Yeah. Anyway, That was great. Thank you, thank you. And you're leaving us now. What's up with that? Anyway, hey, this is the time of our service where we have the opportunity to unite together in our love, in our sharing, and our contributing and supporting of the emerging idea as God in its unique expression of the seaside heart and the soul. It's this moment every week that has allowed this family, this consciousness, this expression that Seaside is, to journey through time thus far. And your gift is significant and important for a continuation. And so I just thank you for the generosity that pours forth from you week after week. And I know that pours back into your life because it is that hoop, it is that circle. And you give not because you're trying to get it back. And the law of circulation just works when there aren't strings attached. And it shows up like your health or your relationships or whatever is relevant in your life and your world. And so listen to your heart and say yes to that. And with that, I want to invite our ushers to come forward and say thank you to this wonderful crew as we take our gift from our heart and our soul. And thank you to those who have mailed in your contributions when you cannot be here on a Sunday. It's greatly appreciated, as well as those that participate with the auto tithe. You've made a contribution or a regular contribution or monthly or annual or weekly or auto, whatever it is, that consistency has been profound and different. And those of you at home, we know you're there. I was just given from Catherine a list of some people there watching, like Sharon Argus. Thank you. And from Michael Horgan, we know that you're there. These individuals are talking online, which they're not allowed to do here during the service. Jennifer Shoemaker, Cher Watson in South Carolina. Hey, we miss you. It's good to see you. Kaylee Roberts from Chicago. Here's one. Darren in Bay City, Michigan, ordered her tote bag online. So, it's just a lot of love that's there. So it takes all of us wherever we are. And so I share this prayer of love that continues just move within the heart and the soul and the spirit. And I share this prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, for this truly is a blessed moment where there is the opportunity to reflect upon the participation of being in the flow of life. For truly it is the flow. That's where that energy is in that thermodynamic, that is the flow of life where we are blessed and enriched and uplifted. And I know right now that it is the joy of the divine to continue to have that motion through our very life. And so as we give it passage in our sharing, the gifts that have blessed our life, we send that blessing out and continues to grace everyone it comes in contact, because that is the energetic flow from which it originated. You being that place, the channel that brought forth that infinite expression from that inexhaustible reservoir. And so with joy we give, with joy we receive, and we just allow ourselves to live within the wonderful flow of life with a deep sense of peace, a deep sense of security, knowing all is taken care of, whatever that may look like. And so it is. Amen. Together, let us say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. Our guys from Seaside, right there, rocking that house. And so as I stand before this bounty, I can feel the outpouring of love. I can feel that outpouring of the energy and that support and that willingness to be an avenue through which God is made manifest. So with joy, we give that which has blessed our life, and it is received with joy and is handled in good stewardship and is put forth back into that current, bringing the joy and the blessings and the grace and the good to everyone it comes in contact. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this opportunity to be part of this wonderful flow of life. And so it is. Amen. This is Tina. She is your board secretary, taking good care of us and recording what is going on within the heart and soul of this community. So thank you, Tina. And my goodness, Tori Rose, bless you for being here today. What a gift you are to us all. I love that voice, that sound. It's like an Adele expression going on up there. So thank you, thank you. And Rebecca, Jay, thank you for swinging on and flying on, literally home early this morning to catch a service with us. So you're a blessing and a gift to us all. Bless you for your creative, artistic expression. It's appreciated. And Kim Jera, 2 more months and a few more tests, and we'll be able to say Reverend Kim Jera. So we're excited for you. Thank you for blessing us this morning, helping us out. And Wednesday night, it is, the final finale going on and hiatus for a while, but so come on out Wednesday night, the Power Up service. Kim Jera, the wonderful love that you put into that, and along with Catherine, and it's just powerful. Giving us sound today, Matthew, thank you very much. Giving us visuals, Marv, thank you very much. To the wonderful Crawford's live streaming crew, thank you very much. And those of you at home, we know you're there. We're hearing from you more all the time, like Michigan and wanted their tote bag. You too can have a tote bag. Anyway, lots going on at Seaside, like Marianne Williamson, pick up your ticket. As I think Kat said, we've sold 90. There's only a few left. That means for the VIPs. So if you want one of those, go ahead and get that. There are still the general admission, a lot of those left. Also, what is it? Saturday, Grace. This is Grace Avalon. I don't know if you're here, but anyway, she's got a wonderful class going on that's based upon her book, Thank God I'm Crazy. And the way to wake up is to be happy is her class on Saturday. So that's going on. Big news is tonight, we got an Earth Day celebration. The Seaside Sisters, under the direction of Callie, so you know it's going to be magnificent, is putting together this fire circle out in the gardens, and they're partnering with the Soul of Yoga. So Flossie and Gary are coming here along with Gentle Thunder, who is coming from Colorado, bringing her drums and chanting and drumming. It's going to be a powerful night. So it's 5 o'clock. It's going on here. Plan to be part of that. It will be wonderful for sure. I want to hear it from our kids. Hey, also, next Thursday, just a heads up, is it next Thursday? No, the following Thursday. You got a couple weeks. But anyway, the annual Mayor's Prayer Breakfast is the first Thursday of May every year. It's based on the National Day of Prayer. I'm the president of the Interfaith Association, and we are bringing in to support the mayor for a breakfast, and all the city council there, and all the city planners are there. There's more than 100 people. They're bringing in the Muslim faith and the Jewish faith and the Christian faith and the Catholic faith. We're going to have a cantor with a self-fellowship realization. Everybody's going to do like 3-minute prayers during, before, and after breakfast. So if you want to be part of that, the information's in the program. But hey, guys, how's it going? Yeah, do I have it on? Yes.
Today we celebrated Mother Earth's birthday. And
nice.
We made bird feeders. And we also made mud cakes.
Mud cakes?
Yeah.
That looks good.
And we made a wish for Mother Earth.
Oh, really? What's the wish?
What
was yours?
Mine was to stop global warming.
Yay, very nice. What was yours?
Mine was for pollinators to not go extinct.
Wow, that would be really good too. So, anybody else want to share their wish for Mother Earth? No? Okay. Well, I know we are in good hands. We are blessed, and we're going to promise to do our best to give you a healthier planet than we received. How's that? We up for that wish? Okay. Hey, let's say together our vision for our children, and that is, we see you. We love you, and we support you in your magnificence. Woo, that's right. So I want to pray, since this whole morning is, all of Sunday mornings lead to the moment of really healing. All this is to shift the consciousness. All this is good, but it's the energetic movement that allows us to open up to the greater good. And we have these wonderful spiritual practitioners that have been trained and licensed, spent years, if not decades, perfecting the art of that healing consciousness through prayer and meditation and classes. I want to invite them to stand. They are licensed by the organization, and they are available always for prayer, available after service in our prayer center. And so just allow yourself to surrender any of the extra anything in this moment and allow yourself to open up to the joy, to the excitement, to the vibrancy, to the power, to the essence of that life force that moves right here in this moment. It cannot be defined. It cannot really even be articulated, but you can feel it. You can sense it. You know it. It is that first breath, first cause. It is that first pulse. It is the joy. It is the wisdom that guides all things. It is the intelligence that is in and through all things. It is the order. It is the abundance. It is the affluent flow. It is, call it what you want, but come into the realization of the isness of it where all is possible. Feel it. Allow yourself into that resonant field, that morphogenetic field where we're all one. And it's in this state of oneness, and that is where the healing takes place, is healing that sense of separation. For a spirit is all things. All religions say God is all, is infinite, is everything. But then the truth of our being is of that. Think about that. Sit with that. Realize what that significance is. If God is infinite, you're part of the infinite. Allow that vibration to move through your physical being right now. That power that can move mountains. It's the power of you in this very moment. And allow that to have its way. That wisdom that guides the universe is the same intelligence that is moving through your body right now. Every cell, every tissue, every organ, every fiber of your being is responding to the innate blueprint of wholeness in this moment. And there is a responsiveness in the physical form. The body comes back into alignment. Thich Nhat Hanh talked about is we need to take care of our body because it is also taking care of the body of the earth, and we will both be healthy when we are in sync. Know that the body knows how to heal. Feel it coming back into that greater flow. The channel of the divine download is what you are in this moment, purging out anything unlike it. Not because I need to tell that infinite intelligence what to do with my physical form, but because it knows all. Purging out anything unlike itself, moving to that place of perfect weight and balance, circulation, health, wholeness, vibrancy, any dis-ease, constriction, discomfort, dissolves into the nothingness that from which it came, and what remains is the ease, the grace, the joy, the vibrancy, the life force. Allow that vibration, that frequency of who you are to continue to attract into your world that which brings you joy, that brings you a sense of success and fulfillment. And know with spirit, that wonderful flow of the joy and success is supported. It is right to live with that sense of joy and fulfillment in life. And when you say yes to your passion and your dharma, that which is yours to do, life is there to support that. For you've been called to the world for a time such as this to bring forth your gift, and that which brings you joy will bring the world joy. And we begin to lift that vibrational frequency to an ever higher place where all is healed. Because we are each contributors to this collective consciousness, to this morphogenetic field, to this oneness where there is no separation. And when we are contributors of the possibilities and take those challenges as invitations to activate and then access the genius of being we bring forth through the creativity and the imagination, brilliant expressions that move us all forward. So knowing that it's right to walk in this world in love, and that our relationships are a reflection of that magnificence, and the relationships are one of honesty and intimacy, and they're juicy and passionate and wonderful and just life-provoking. For the grace of God is truly upon that beautiful communion of two souls who have chosen to play together. Feel the grace of Spirit upon this moment. I know it moves through our prayer center, that every prayer request put in our prayer request chest, the healing is activated and unfolding and fulfilling its expression in the lives of the requestees. For our beloved brother Carl Anthony, whose father made his transition a couple days ago. We know that his dad, Pops, I think it's Ken, moves on with those wonderful currents of eternality at 89, having fulfilled his journey in this world, free to express himself with that joy always. And for Carl and his family, that they are surrounded with a love and a compassion and a support that passes understanding. It is a peace that is deep and real, that is available to all of us because that peace and love is omnipresent. That means always, no matter where we are in the midst of the confusion, the concern, we know peace is possible. And so as we look upon this planet Earth this day, Gaia, our mother, I know right now, this earth, we have heard her urgent cry. We have heard those distress messages as an invitation to walk in a greater way, sharing a greater light. For we are connected in the mouthpiece and the expression of the mother herself. So grateful to know that we are a vital, active participant in the greater good emerging upon this planet for us all. And I say thank you for being used. I'm just filled with a sense of grace and gratitude. And I'm not thankful to anyone or anything outside of me because I am one with it all. I am just standing in this state of appreciation and an awesome wonder of the good that already is. And so I adjust my eyes from that mountaintop perspective to that higher place and see the unfoldment of God's grace and God's good on this beautiful Earth Day, that we are moving in the right direction, that we are birthing ourselves, coming through the messy birth process into this time of growing and evolving, moving from breakdown and chaos to renaissance. We're in a renaissance period. And you've been called to bring forth that light. And I let go to this. I trust this. I believe it with an unshakable conviction that it is happening now. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand.
But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. And this is what you have to say. Come on, Seaside. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. So no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. So no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Come on, Seaside, sing it from your heart. Beautiful. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yay.
And our affirmation is, I honor the call of the earth. Together, I honor the call of the earth. Touch your heart and say that again. I honor the call of the earth. One more time like you mean it. I honor the call of the earth. And our song of grace.
I'm living in love. I'm living in peace. I'm living my life for what I believe, through joys and through fears. In this world I walk, God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We're living in love. We're living in peace. United we stand as one family. We honor all truth as together we walk. God's grace moves through me, and it moves through us all. We are living in grace. 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 Happy Earth Day, Seaside!
Thank you.